Unit 024 is one of the early anti-shadow suppression weapons that appeared during Labrys' flashback storyline in Persona 4 Arena. Anti-Shadow Suppression Weapons, or ASSW, are combat android developed by the Kirijo group to fight against shadows. While there's no official confirmation, some fans believe the earliest models were vehicle-based. Over time though, the developer shifted toward humanoid design, which has a better chance to develop an ego, something necessary for awakening a persona. To support this, the Kirijo group used personality implants and a material called the Plume of Dust, which is said to have fallen from Nyx in prehistoric time. These elements were integrated to help the units form a sense of self. Unit 024 was one of the many ASSW stationed at the Kirijo facility on Yakushima Island. She eventually formed a bond with Labrys and shared her dreams of meeting the girl whose personality was served as the templates for all ASSW. She viewed this girl as kind of a mother figure for their kind. Unit 024 was equipped with the large greatsword, as earlier ASS models like hers weren't designed to handle firearms. Their internal system couldn't manage the heat output and lacked the targeting precision needed for ranged combat. She remained a close combat unit throughout her times, and unlike later models, Unit 024 never awakened a persona by the end of her story. In terms of generational development, most fans believe Unit 024 to belong to the 4th generation. This generation is also thought to be the first to transition from vehicle-based design to humanoid one. Throughout this video, I'll be pointing out which generation each unit belongs to. That way, by the end, you have a full picture of how the Kirijo group design evolved over time, even beyond the Aigis model. And as always, if you enjoyed this kind of quick but complete explainer, consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel. Let's make the game you love more meaningful together. Labrys, formerly known as Unit 031, is a playable character introduced in Persona 4 Arena. She was equipped with double-headed axe, powered by integrated thruster, allowing for high-speed, precise attack. Her limb and motor system were enhanced for better movement, balance, and durabilities. She was also the first unit to receive a full-size Plume of Dust, a key component in the developments of ego and persona potential. Later in the story, Labrys successfully awakened a persona named Ariadne. Labrys' shadow self, which represents the suppressed part of her psyche, also awakened to a persona, Aigis. The two personas are drawn from Greek mythology and reflects bond between half-siblings. Aigis, better known as the Minotaur, who was trapped within the labyrinth, and Ariadne, who was tasked with overseeing the structure and managing its entrances and exits. In Persona 4 Arena, it's revealed that during her times in development, long before the events of the game, Labrys and her sister units were placed in live combat trial, where they were forced to fight each other. These matches were designed to simulate life and death scenarios, pushing units toward persona awakening to extreme emotional stress. In her final trial, Labrys was ordered to fight Unit 024, a unit she has grown close to during the shared outdoor routines. With no alternative, she was forced to eliminate her. After the match, combat data from Unit 024 was transferred to Labrys. However, the transfer also included what appeared to be emotional memories. This caused Labrys to go out of control, and she broke through multiple levels of the facility. However, she was eventually stopped at the island Aigis and surrendered. Due to her instability, she was later shut down, and all her data was preserved for future anti-shadow suppression weapon developments. She was later reactivated at the start of the event of Persona 4 Arena. That said, Labrys was the first officially acknowledged members of the 5th generation of the anti-shadow suppression weapons, and she was named after her distinct double-headed axe. Aigis was introduced in Persona 3 as the last active anti-shadow suppression weapons. Unlike earlier models focused on melee combat, she features built-in firearm and artillery, made possible through major system upgrade. Shortly after activation, Aigis awakened her initial persona, Palladian, which later evolved into Athena. Both are figures from Greek mythology closely associated with protection and wisdom, reflecting Aigis' own journey toward emotional growth and purpose. At the core of her design was the Papillon Heart, a component formed by crossing two full-size Plume of Dust. When activated, Their overlapping energy created a visual patterns resembling butterfly wings. These effects inspired the name, with papillon meaning butterfly in French. Aigis was also the first unit equipped with Augear mode, a system that removed operational limiters to temporarily boost her speed, strength, and fire powers. However, this power spike came with a trade-off. Each activation caused overheating and required a cooldown period before she could return to normal function. Known in the West as Aigis, her original Japanese name is officially written as Aigis, referencing the mythological shield of Athena. However, the Japanese pronunciation resembled Aigis, which led to the English localization adopting that spelling. That said, there appeared to be timeline inconsistency in Aigis' backstory. While her official completion date is listed as February 2000, Aigis' the first mission placed her initial activation in 1999. Labrys was deactivated in April, and Aigis was activated the following month. Given how little time separated the two events, it seemed unlikely that the Kirijo group had the resources or time to develop both the 6th and the 7th generation in parallel. This suggests the 6th generation may have been skipped or quietly phased out in the favor of the 7th. Soon after her activation, Aigis was deployed to contain a shadow outbreak on Yakushima Island. Although she successfully eliminated the threat, her memory of the mission were erased due to the sign of rapid emotional development, something the Kirijo group considered a liability. A year later, just before the events of Persona 3, Aigis was reactivated and deployed to confront the entity known as Death during the collapse of the Shadow Experiment project on Tatsumi Port Islands. Though unable to defeat it, she sealed the being inside the psyche of a nearby boy, the future protagonist of Persona 3. The battle left her critically damaged, especially in her memory circuits, contributing to her amnesia at the start of the game. Metis is an anti-shadow suppression weapon introduced in Persona 3 Fest, The Answer. She appeared during a mysterious time loop that trapped the deceased member inside their dome, cutting them from outside world. Her sudden arrival captured them off guard, and she introduced herself as Aigis' little sister. Her design closely mirrored Aigis, but featured a darker black and red color scheme, a butterfly motif, and a golden headpiece. She is built for a close quarter combat and used a unique system called Neo Augear mode. Unlike Aigis' original version, which boosts output but still consumes HP and SP, Neo Augear mode lets Metis perform powerful attacks at no cost during its active phase. However, like the original, it requires a cooldown once it ends. Metis' persona is Psyche, a mortal woman from Greek mythology who becomes the goddess of the soul. Though not as prominent as other mythological figures, Psyche symbolizes emotional depth and inner transformation. What that means for Metis and what her true role really is became clearer as the story unfolds. Over time, it's revealed that Metis is not a separate being, but a manifestation of Aigis' repressed emotions, created by the abyss of time. She represents the emotional weight Aigis carries after the protagonist's death, as well as her internal conflict between machine function and human feeling. This emotional depth is also reflected in her name. Metis is named after a figure from Greek mythology associated with wisdom and deep thought. In the game, her name underscores the dual nature of human consciousness, how the ability to think and feel deeply can lead us to both great strengths and profound vulnerabilities. Her reintegration with Aigis marked a turning point, as Aigis come to understand that embracing both the joy and pain that come with emotion is a vital part of being humans. Unlike other ASSW, Metis has no official generation number, since she wasn't developed by the Kirijo group or recognized by their researchers. While some may view her as a 7th generation offshoot due to her origin, she ultimately exists outside the formal classification system. Sosei Kurogami, also known as R00 Genesis, is the final anti-shadow suppression weapon developed by the Kirijo group. He was secretly designed in 1999 as a backup for the 7th generation ASSW during the same period as Aigis developments. Genesis is also notable for being the first male type ASS shown in the series. He appears in Persona X Detective Naoto as Naoto Shirogane's partner during an investigation into mysterious disappearances at Yagagoro High School. His last mechanical frame features motorcycle-inspired limbs, and he can transform into a motorcycle. Genesis was created through a joint experiment between the police and the Kirijo group to explore the potential for humanoid robots to suppress violent crimes rather than shadows. Although built for field deployment, he was ultimately deemed a failure after awakening to the persona Tsukuyomi, which lacked conventional offensive power. As a result, Genesis was reassigned to investigative support, where his ability proved more effective. Genesis' persona, Tsukuyomi, is based on the Shinto moon god and ruler of the night. His unique ability, past reading, allows him to hear the final thought or spoken words of deceased within 5-meter radius. Ai Kurogami, introduced in the same story, is Genesis' little sister and another anti-shadow suppression weapon created by the Kirijo group. She has a youthful appearance with short light hair, dark eyes, and rabbit ear headbands. Like Genesis, Ai is capable of mechanical transformation. Her body partially resembles a pink motorcycle, and she can convert into a scooter. And to this day, I'm still not sure why this character exists. Anyway, though her role in the story is limited compared to Genesis, Ai decided to reflect the Kirijo group continued experimentation with mobilities and adaptability. She offers occasionally support throughout the investigation, but does not play a central role in the narrative. That said, Genesis and Ai represent the final stages of development in the Anti-Shadow Suppression Weapon project. Their design reflects a shift in Kirijo group approach, emphasizing adaptability, autonomy, and broader range of functions beyond combats. While they don't have officially generation numbers in the main Persona series, their appearance in side story show how far the Kirijo group technology had progressed. So despite official sources may claim that ASSW project is over, the existence of characters like Genesis and Ai leave the possibility open for the new ASSW to appear again in the future story. Now, this video was meant to be a quick overview, but if you want to learn more about the story and deeper details of the ASSW, you can do so by checking out this next video.